at you from the great state of Louisiana with mail day number 48. I've been on a buying spree recently, sharing some big time Jordans. Today you're going to get to see some Jordans, a teeny tiny bit of soccer, just a little bit more money I'm putting into Erling Haaland, and then some Kevin Porter Jr. cards as well. No Dame Lillard, no Dame time in this mail day, but I've got some big Jordans, some Jordans that are meaningful and that are huge additions to my Jordan collection, so I'm happy to share those with you guys today without any delay. Again, I apologize for the striped shirt. I do have a job. I'm in the middle of it. I'm trying to knock this little 15-minute mail day out real quick so you guys can see it. So I've got a striped shirt on, which may not come across great on your viewing screen. So I apologize in advance for that. But let's get cranking with our mail day. Here's the list right here. Let's start the slideshow. As always, I'm showing you the high-def digital images front and back from these cards that were recently curated in my PWCC vault. That's where I store all of my big-time cards, all of my slab cards. I've got hundreds, tens of thousands of raw cards off screen in this office and at my house, building up dust, but all the stuff that matters to me, the important stuff, the cards that I move in and out of, and then cards that I like to keep forever, I store them up in Oregon so alligators don't eat them, hurricanes don't wash them away, and they don't get stolen by Cajun criminals. So the first card is not a big card. It's a second-year Erling Haaland. I told you guys I'm making a move into Erling Haaland. He's the one soccer player that I know really well. I do follow the Premier League. I do watch Manchester City every weekend, and I do watch Erling Haaland, and I've watched the progress and the growth he's made as a striker in the Premier League on what I think is the most stacked team in the Premier League. I do think at some point they'll pull away. They'll win the Premier League. Arsenal is a good team. They're drastically improved over last year and prior years especially. But I think Man City is going to be the team to beat, and I think they can win Champions League as well. So I think you're looking at Erling Haaland possibly breaking the all-time Premier League scoring record, being the best player on the best team who wins the Premier League, domestic cup, as well as the Champions League final, which would be massive. He's scoring goals in bunches, both in the Champions League and the Premier League. I think it's a good move on this card. That's just me. I'm not telling you to go out and buy the damn thing. It's a baby card. I think I'm picking these up for just under $100. They're about pop 130. It might have gone up a few since the last time I looked. But his 2019 Topps Chrome Bundesliga Refractor is the rookie card that I most am familiar with and that I've decided to stack from an investment perspective. This is a pure investment on my behalf. And then this 2020 second-year Topps Chrome Bundesliga Refractor PSA 10 is a nice little cheap one. And I've picked up two of those in this particular mail day. And I think that gives me 3 total copies. I'm into these for about $265, $270 total. So nothing huge here. Just wanted to show you guys a soccer play. And here's the boil, right? Surprise, surprise. This is the biggest card in this mail day. This is a very important card in my collection. It's the 1996 EX2000, a cut above Michael Jordan. This card is heavily faked. Not as heavily faked as the big men on court, but heavily faked. This is a mixed gem with a 9 edges and a 10 surface, 9.5 for centering and corners. Just a beautiful, meaningful, extremely relevant, in my opinion, Jordan card from a great product, great product from the 90s, the EX2000 product from 1996. Even those base cards look like they're super incredible in my opinion. But this is the cut above. I've done, I believe, an Explore the Card episode on this particular card. The back of the card says Jordan, the player most responsible for Chicago's 4 NBA titles during the past 6 years, earned his 4th league MVP award last season by leading the Bulls to an NBA record 72 regular season wins. He continued his aerial assault this year, scoring a career high 51 points against the Knicks. The Knicks definitely deserved it. But these cut above cards are massive. This is a big card for my Jordan collection and a big piece. And there was a huge void in my collection where I did not have this card. And I had to grab it and put it there. And so I'm very happy to grab the card in a BGS 9.5 grade. This is what the card's done over the last 2 years. You can see this card in this grade sold for $25,100 in December of 2020, just before the big bubble push. It's come down, down, and then down. So I've got the lowest price point of the last 4. Did I time the bottom of the market? I don't know. The card may dip below, it may go 4 figures. I have no idea. There's no way to predict the future. future. I do feel if you're going to spend money in this market where there's so much volatility, primarily downward volatility, that spending it on super low population Michael Jordan die cut insert cards from the 90s in gem mint condition is probably one of the safest ways to spend your money. Again, nothing is foolproof, nothing is risk-free in this hobby. You guys know that, but I'm happy to add this one to the collection. It's a Pop 29. Like I said, 12.83%, down 50% from its peak right here, which is just before the 2021 bubble. Next card on our list. The 1996 Ultra Court Masters, not the sexiest card out there. It's just not. It's got Jordan written in script down here. It's got, the thin gold outline of the NBA free throw lane here. It's a Court Masters. It's also a mixed gem with a 10 for corners and a 9 for surface. The back of the card is really cool looking. Actually, the back looks a little bit better than the front, but the Ultimate Court Master returned to his rightful position as arguably the best in the NBA by securing his 4th Most Valuable Player award. Yes, we just heard that. So big card there. I've got this one pulled up in Card Ladder as well. It's a little bit higher pop 51. It's about a $2,800 card, $2,700 card, something like that. This was my pickup right here. I bought both these cards from Probstein, by the way. I've not had issues buying from Probstein. I hear negative stuff all the time about Rick Probstein's eBay listings and whatnot. I personally can only speak from my experience. I had one card that I had to return, and it was not an issue at all. It was a misdescribed, severely scratched green Giannis Raw Prism rookie card that I was hoping to get and grade. The pictures didn't really reflect the gigantic chasm in the card. I emailed Rick. eBay took over. I got the card returned. I got my money back, and nobody was, in any worse position than when we started. But I picked these two monsters up from Probstein. They shipped on time. They authenticated at eBay. They arrived in my vault, and now they're safe and sound, so I can share them with you here today on mail day number 28. Happy to get this one for less than the one just a month ago for $31.20. This is about what the card's worth. I think if you look at the last 6 price points, the card's a $27.46 card on average over the last 8 sales. So I feel like this card sort of found the bottom. But that's just me. Again, you can't always time it perfect, but these are cards I don't look to flip or sell anyway, to be honest with you. So I'm putting it in my collection with the BGS 9.5 grade, which makes me feel good because a PSA 10 would cost magnitudes more. And then a couple of little babies, right? I picked up another 2019 Optic Holo Kevin Porter PSA 10. I know there's a lot of these out there. There's not that many holos, but I know there's a lot of Prism Silvers, which we're about to get to. But I like to pick these cards up. I still think these cards are too cheap. I think he is a world-class talent. You guys know how I feel about Kevin Porter. I'm not going to sit here and hype him anymore. I'm just going to give you a peek at what I've stacked. Again, this is only about a $50, $60, $70 card, something like that. And I've got a bunch of these, as you can see. Those are holos up here at the top. I think there's probably 6 or 7 of those. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So I've got four holos, and then the rest, I think there's 15 maybe. And there's some more holos, 3 more holos, so 7 holos. And then I think there's maybe 15, 16. And there's some more holos. And then the rest and there's another holo. So I guess I jumbled them when I shared it. But between the Prism Silver PSA 10 and the Holo Silver PSA 10, I guess there's about, I don't know, what is that? Maybe 20 of those, something like that. I don't know. But if we pull up, I need to fast forward here. So I also picked up 2 more silver. So silver number 1, PSA 10, 1 more silver. So that's the list. But if we look at these cards, I wanted to see what these were doing. As you can see, over the last 2 years, I mean, it's nuts. If PSA would have got off their ass and got me my cards back, again, they're my grading company of choice, but I can bitch every once in a while. If I'd have got the damn cards back, of course, everybody's saying the same thing. When they were $600, that would have been nice. But now it's just shy of 100. It's only a Pop 1000, but we know there's more out there, okay? Let's not be naive. Let's be transparent, objective, and honest with ourselves. If there's, 2,500 2018 Doncic PSA 10s, there's probably going to be 3,000 Kevin Porter Silver Prism 2019 PSA 10s if we want to be honest with ourselves. If you want to know how many there are, go look at the Zions. But there's 1,000 right now. As you can see, if you click here, you can see the Pop's going up, right? It's gone up 400 in the last 18 months. It's a $96 card. It's a death march, obviously, not surprisingly, over the last 2 years. But if we look at the last month where he's just started the NBA season, he's playing his ass off. He's putting up serious numbers, and he's running the show for a Rockets team that's probably going to lose a lot of games. But he's going to stuff the stat sheet. Cards going up a little bit from 82. It dipped even down to 71. The last one sold at 96. I think I bought mine right about 90, maybe around here. If I had to guess, 85, something like that. I don't remember, 80, 90, something like that. I just feel like less than $100 for a silver PSA 10 is not enough. I think that one day that people are going to want this card specifically because of the player whose face is on the front of it, Kevin Porter Jr. So under $100, I'll buy 10 or 12 of these. I don't mind. I think it's a good investment, even though I usually tend to stay away from these high pop cards, as you guys know. The Optic Hollow is the other one that I picked up, as you guys saw. These are 40, 50, 60 bucks. That's just too cheap. These are more rare than the Prism. I know Optic is kind of a second-class citizen when compared to Prism. That's the chromium product of choice by ultramodern collectors for the most part. But the let me get this right. Yeah, but the Optic Hollow is a good-looking card, and it's much tougher to gem, and it's a much lower print run. So picking those up for 40, 50, 60 bucks, it seems like a no-brainer to me. It's fun. I like collecting Kevin Porter Jr. It's not the sexiest move and all, but just like the Erling Haalands, these are investment moves. If they get to 150, I'll probably move them over into the PWCC Weekly Auction and then just let them go. Not a big deal. So anyway, that's it, guys. To recap, 2 Erling Haaland, second-year Chrome Refractor PSA 10 investment cards. 2 Monster Jim Jordan cards. Obviously, the cut aboves. The big card here is probably a little over $12,000 card. So that card does mean a lot. It's a top 20 card, probably a top 25 card in my collection. So that card really does have a lot of meaning. And then we've got the Ultra Court Masters BGS 9.5 low pop 51 pop card there, and then the 2 little baby KPJ silver and hollow PSA 10s, which are again just the little investment pieces that I'll look to move when they double, if they double. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But when you're buying stuff for 60 and 80 bucks, I mean, how much real downside is there? What can they go down to? They're not going to go to zero. So anyway, that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the mail day. It's mail day number 48. It's crazy. I probably got too many mail days, right? I'm buying too many cards, and that doesn't take into account the tens, I shouldn't say tens of thousands of raw cards that I've bought since January 1 in the year 2022. I do have a ton of those. Those go to PSA. Eventually, you get to see all those cards, the good and the bad, when they come back in the mail in PSA slabs. I share those with you. Sometimes I win and sometimes I lose, and sometimes you draw. I think it was Rosie Perez on White Men Can't Jump that said, sometimes when you win, you really lose, and sometimes when you lose, you really win. And that is what sent Billy Hoyle, Woody Harrelson's character, through the roof. He did not like that comment, and then that started another fight. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch White Men Can't Jump. One of my top 10 basketball movies of all time. Anyway, enough rambling. Thank you guys for watching Mail Day number 48. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Make sure you're subscribed to Cajun Cardboard and to the Luka Nation Network. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you get notifications. And peace.